What's going on, America? This is Kevin in Kevin's Corner. And today I saw something on YouTube that was priceless. I mean, every once in a while, you'll see somebody make a statement, make an example that just this flawless. It's beautiful. It just brings everything home. It's like the moon and the stars all come together and sync up perfectly. And you're like, boy, that was beautiful. And especially when they do it towards somebody who's trying to manipulate them. And in their mind, they're thinking that watch me expose this person, watch me embarrass this person. And the person flips it on them and they're like, wow, I didn't see that coming. That just straight backfired. And now I look like a fool. And I think his name is Senator Cassidy. He did that when a lady with her kid or her kids tried to stop him and tried to embarrass him by asking him a stupid question like, Senator Cassidy, can you tell my kids why you ruined their future? Matter of fact, I'm gonna let you hear the clip, and then we'll talk about it for a quick second, okay? See.
Senator Cassidy, can you please apologize to my children for ruining their futures?
Hey, guess what? If in the future somebody makes it, I know your parents are using you as tools.
No,
but if
we're
in
not
the
using
future,
them as
in the
tools.
future,
We're not
if somebody
using them
makes
as
an
tools.
allegation against you and there's no
But
proof for it, you will be okay.
and you should hope that.
So now, you heard the clip. He's walking down the hall. These ladies are sitting there, they're filming it, thinking, oh, we're about to catch him and embarrass this guy and roughhouse him verbally, just like we did Jeff Flake in the elevator and so on and so forth. So she asked a stupid question. Can you apologize? Well, actually, she makes a demand. Can you apologize to my kid for ruining their future? And yet, see, these are the things that liberals, they prey on. First things first, how did he ruin her kid's future? Their future haven't even begun. I mean, they're not old. And all he was doing was standing up for the law. And so if this woman would have had any sense, she would be thinking by making sure the process is in place to make sure evidence is provided to convict somebody of guilt is protecting the future of your kids, because your kids may be the victim of that one day. Today, it might be men, but then one day it might be women, just like during the Salem witch trial. See, we could easily go back then and say, well, you know what? Back in the day, we didn't need anybody's word or evidence to say that this woman was a witch. If her buddy next door said she's a witch, we taking her out back and we stoning her, we burning her or hanging her or whatever. We don't need corroborating evidence. We just need somebody to say, hey man, that woman right there is a witch. Forget proof, forget all of that. So yeah, back then it was women wants rights. We need to make sure that people listen to us, and there has to be evidence. You can't just say somebody's a witch and burn them. But now we're back to that. Have we regressed? So now we're back to the point where you can just say, some guy raped me. I don't have any evidence, no corroborating witnesses, nothing. But just take my word for it. And just like the Salem witch trial, they just grab the guy and say, you know what? We're ruining your whole life. You know, maybe we might not take you out back and burn you and hang you and stuff, but your life is pretty much over when you can't work. Everybody deems you as a sex offender. Your family smugs you because they're looking like, did dad really do this? I hope not. I mean, who's telling the truth here? So it's the same thing. And we can never get back to the point where we just operating off of straight speculation and going back to the old school black, they called it the dark ages, where you just got a gut feeling, an omen about somebody and just decided, you know how we're going to decide if they're innocent or not? We're going to just tie a big brick to them and we're going to throw them in the lake and see if they float. If they float, they're innocent. If they don't, then they're guilty. Or how about this? We're going to make them lick a hot iron 3 times, and if the tongue bubbles up, they're guilty. But if it don't, then they're innocent. Now, we all know, because of science, if you have a rock tied to your ankle, you're not going to swim. If you lick a hot iron, your tongue is going to bubble up. And these people didn't have a fair trial, but no evidence was needed. So we're going back there. So she brings this thing up thinking, how could he respond? I got him. See, this is what the left do. They like to make sure that they make their arguments by using victims and kids as shields so they don't have to bring facts, reason, none of that stuff. They like to prey on emotion. So instead of arguing why having illegal immigrants receive citizenship or just not even building a wall or increasing our immigration policies, why that is or isn't a good idea. They just say things like, do you want to see kids ripped from their parents? Or you don't like to see people start a better life? Are you racist against Latinos? Things like that. And so now that shield goes up and people go, oh crap, I don't want people thinking I'm a racist and I hate Latinos, so I better not argue the reasoning behind what I'm saying. I'm just going to bow out. Or instead of saying, here's the reason why we should have, say, open borders, or we should just let people come in from other countries that we can't vet, that, are well-known countries of terrorism. Instead of saying, well, I think this is why we should do it, here's the reasons, it just comes down to you hate Muslims. So they never really bring arguments with facts because they would lose. They would lose that every time. And people on the right, they say, well, hold up. I'm not saying that I hate this person, hate these people, or any of that. I'm starting with some type of reasoning and giving a logical explanation of why this is a good or bad idea. But see, liberals, they don't like to do that. So instead of bringing that, they say, throw up the shield. We're going to throw up a tragedy. We're going to throw up a kid in front of you and all of that. And that's exactly what they did with this senator. But Senator Cassidy did something that, like my man off of Troy with Brad Pitt, I loved it. The beginning when he gave this kid some harsh words, some hardcore words to toughen him up. I gave him a mini speech. The kid came to get him to go out and fight this big dude. And he was getting on his horse, putting his helmet on and his shield. And the kid said, the man that you're about to fight is the biggest man I've ever seen. I wouldn't want to fight him. And Achilles looks down at the kid and says, that's why no one will ever remember your name. And didn't smile. No encouragement after that. He didn't even hit him with the, but if you just stay in the fight and keep working at it, just rolled off. Left that with him, to think about it. After, like when I was young, your parent will give you one of these, smack you in the mouth, and just say, now think about it, and walk off. You'd be sitting there like, what the heck? Yeah, well, this guy gave these kids, who she thought was going to be her shield, who was going to embarrass, give her a soundbite, make her famous, embarrass Senator Cassidy. My man stopped, took off the earphones, and was like, you know what, kids? I know your mother is using you right now. And they was like, oh, shoot, don't tell my kids that. They ain't supposed to know that I'm manipulating you by using them. And he said, I know your kids are using you right now. He didn't take the politically correct route or nothing. He said, but you know what? When you get older and find out that accusing people, with no evidence, you're going to be all right. It's not good. He was like, hey, when you find out accusing people with no evidence is a bad thing, you're going to be all right. So basically, what I did actually benefited you kids. You might not see it now. You might be listening to your mom who, for whatever reason, done jumped on the bandwagon with this cause and just casted off all reasoning, logic, facts, evidence, all of that stuff. Just threw it off. Became a bleeding heart liberal and said, forget all that. We're just going to take people's word for it until it's one of your kids. Until it's a family member of yours. Till it's a friend of yours who gets drug out to the Salem witch trials, and you sitting there like, did anybody provide any evidence? How do you know what they're saying is true? So he did something that a lot of people nowadays are afraid to do. My man kept it 100% real. I didn't even know who this guy was, but when I saw this clip, I now love him, okay? I ain't never met this man, but now I love him because I'm like, ooh, that was real. He went to the kids. He was like, you know what? I'm even going to talk to the parents because I see what y'all up to. Kids, I know your parents are using you. That right there has been immortalized forever. Right on the internet. When they get older, they're going to be looking at that like, Mom, you did use us. Hilarious. If you get a chance, check it out. You can find it online. But I just thought that was priceless. About time these Republicans get a backbone. Anyway, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. That shows a lot of people how to handle these liberals who try to use these emotional objects to block us from presenting a well thought out argument. Don't let them get away with it. Anyway, find me on Facebook, find me on Twitter, send me a friend. Well, you can't send me a friend request. But you know what you can do? You can follow me on Facebook. Check me out on Wednesday nights at 7:30 and Kevin's Corner, my live radio blog talk show. Also, follow me on Twitter. If you want to donate to Kevin's Corner, there's links in the bottom to do that. And check out Extreme Tees, my sponsor. They have links in the bottom. I have links in the bottom of this video. So check it out. You will enjoy their merchandise. I sure do. Anyway, God bless you. We will see you next time in Kevin's Corner. And make sure you check that out. He was smooth with it. He just stopped like, You know what, kids? Yeah, gave him a tough lesson. Anyway, God bless. See you next time in Kevin's Corner.